Coming up on Mental Health Matters with Marty, World's AIDS Day coming up tomorrow with our special guest, future Dr. Donta Morrison. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Listen, I am Marty Sellers. Welcome to another edition of Mental Health Matters with Marty, the Monday edition. We are so glad that you are here today with us. We are trying some couple new things, so bear with us today. Listen, let us know that you are listening and that you are alive and well. Happy post after Thanksgiving. Hope you all are doing well. Listen, I had a great time. Thanksgiving was different this year, but guess what? We are still alive and well. That's what it's all about. And in this edition, definitely want to always say, as always, we want to be thankful for the things that are around us and the people that are around us. So listen, please, please, please like and share. We have an awesome discussion coming up today, something that we don't talk a lot about as it pertains to HIV and AIDS in the Black community. Tomorrow, December 1st, since 1988, is World AIDS Day, a day that we reflect on those who we have lost because of this horrible, horrible disease and this. I even think that is a pandemic. That has happened, and we want you to be a part of this discussion and everything. So definitely, hey Pam, how are you? Definitely, please listen. Let's not shun away from this discussion today. This is something that we definitely want to highlight. We have to have the conversations because, as I always say, we can no longer suffer in silence in the shadow of shame. And this is a topic that we do not talk enough about, how HIV and AIDS has drastically affected our communities, our Black and brown communities, and our numbers, just like this pandemic, still keep upticking and not are going down, and we have to do something differently about it and talk about this. Paula, how are you? How's everything going? Hope that you and your family had an amazing Thanksgiving, that you guys are staying warm out there on the East Coast. Definitely. So y'all, I am so excited to have joining with me today. I'm not even going to do a whole opening soliloquy today because he is like my homeboy, my ride or die, the road dog, all of that. Just good people. You know you have those good people that you want in your life. That when you meet them, that you're going to be connected for life. And this is when I met this young brother almost 10 years ago. It was an instant connection, instant vibe, all of that. And listen, we have been tight ever since. And so I am excited. This is not his first time on the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, but he's an expert. He doesn't like that I call him Dr. Donta, but he's pre-Dr. Donta Morrison, all the way from Los Angeles, the city of angels. Come on, y'all. Let's welcome to the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, none other than future Dr. Donta Morrison.
Thank you, Marty. You got it right.
Yes. What's up, Donta?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Listen, you worked hard for this. You worked hard. And just for the record, this is not an honorary doctorate. No. This is something my brother is paying for, actively paying for, and will actively pay for with that.
I mean, like, every time you talk to me, doctor, I'm like, Marty, I got some more schooling to do. I'm doing the dissertation. I'm doing the writing. I'm doing all that. Trust me, when I get doctor, the whole world is going to know. But I appreciate you speaking it in advance and you putting it out there. Hey, I appreciate it. Trust me, it is a definite journey. And if anybody has been on this PhD journey, you know that, when it's official, everybody gonna know it's official.
Listen, we're gonna have a party, everything, man.
Everything, no holds barred.
Listen, I salute you.
I
And
appreciate
I
it.
am so proud of you because, one, we don't have enough PhDs for a black man to get his doctorate. I don't care if it's in underwater basket weaving. Bro, it is something. I commend you for sticking to it,
Thank
doing
you.
the work, and all that you do to bring awareness to our communities. So for those, everybody knows who you are. Come on, it's
Not
Dante.
everybody. I stay humble. Not everybody. Not
Okay,
everybody.
okay. Not everybody, not everybody.
Not
Right,
everybody.
right, right. For those who may not, this about this many people who may not know who you are. Dante, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you are I'm gonna say it this way, a world community change agent. Come on.
Thank you, Marty. God, you speak so much light and hope into all that I do, and I appreciate it. Everybody, I am Donta Morrison. All right. So about 20 years ago, I started speaking out about HIV to educate communities of color, primarily
Yes.
the black community, because I noticed that there's a lack of education in the area. So I just started talking about it and educating it. And over time, it's become my life's passion. It's become what I do.
Yes.
I'm also an author. I have 2 books that are out. I am clergy, so I am a licensed minister. I host my
Yes.
own show, The Dante Show, on Facebook and YouTube, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So right after this, follow me on over to my show for my
That's
conversation.
right.
And I also believe in just the power of community. So I'm also,
Yes.
as you know, I'm getting my PhD. I'm in my last year. So I'm really researching just the
Woo.
effects of faith-based homophobia upon the lives
Mm.
of Black, gay, and bisexual men, really to get an understanding of what occurs when the church is constantly bashing
Mm-hmm.
from a place of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people I'm not someone that is trying to change anybody's spiritual belief,
Right.
or how you subscribe to Jesus Christ, but I do think
Right.
there is a way to educate. There is a way to have
Yes.
your stance, and the dragging and all that based upon someone's sexual orientation,
Right.
in the name of the Lord, that needs to
Right.
stop. Because
Yes.
we're creating a lot of mental health issues, in doing that.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm
Yes.
not tripping off of. People can believe what they want to believe.
Right.
White folks don't like black folks. Some straight folks don't like gay folks. Everybody got they think.
They issues.
Right, but it's how you present that causes the trauma, and we're seeing a lot of trauma, unnecessary trauma,
Yes.
in the lives of Black, gay, and bisexual men who are Christian.
Yes.
They
Yes.
love God,
Yes. Thank you
but
for
the
saying that
church has just
because
run them low.
yeah, we have to address it as trauma
Right.
because and thank you for those who don't know. Dante gave me an opportunity to work with these amazing young men at APLA under Healthy Him, that age group from 18 to 29,
Yep, 29.
and yes, 30 we got to kick you out of the Healthy Him. You
Right.
go to the old folk, I guess. I don't know, but working with those young men and the stories were so similar, and I would say that bears across our entire country of these young men who have shared their sexual orientation or so forth with their family members, or shared maybe that they've contacted HIV or that, and they've been ostracized, they've been kicked out of their families, they've been disowned. So that creates not only this trauma, but
Right.
it also causes them to go into deep depression, isolation,
Right.
using other drugs, sex as a coping skill with that. Dante, talk to us because where you're at and the work that you do, what is some of the trauma, and then we're going to deal with World AIDS Day after that, but some of the trauma that you are seeing and why you felt it was important to even reach out to find a Black male of color to reach and talk to other young Black and brown men of color.
Right. Well, so let's look at it like this. Since this is a conversation that's really about HIV,
Right.
and trauma, and let's consider someone who feels unloved. If you
Okay.
feel unloved, you don't really care what you contract.
Right.
HIV
Right.
is nothing, because as long as you're getting some kind of intimate contact, someone telling you that you're pretty, someone saying I love you, you're not tripping off
Right.
the other side of it.
Right.
If love, quote unquote, is driving
Right.
the car, you don't care where the car is going as long as this person
Right.
is loving you. So
Right.
oftentimes I tell people we're looking we try to educate about HIV by giving someone a condom. What is a condom going to do if the person doesn't care about themselves?
Tell the truth.
The condom is irrelevant. It's not the condom that will save you. It's your mentality and how you feel about yourself.
Right.
So it's all about self-awareness, self-esteem, affirming self that's going to make the difference. And until we're able to really reach in and begin to help these people who are feeling cast aside, ostracized, left behind, you're not going to see anything change. People want to know that they matter, and they want to know that they are loved. But if we have parents kicking out their son because he's gay, kicking out their daughter because she's lesbian, kicking out their child because they're transgender, then where is love? Where is the love in all of this? Yes. And like I said, I had to be very careful in my dissertation because I'm so passionate about being Black. My Blackness leads. I'm Black first.
Right.
First people are always like, oh my God, I didn't know you were gay, but I'm Black, right?
Right.
So when it comes down to Black Lives Matter and all that, I'm Black. I'm a brother.
Right.
Now what I do that you don't see me do is none of your business.
Right.
But when you first meet me, you say that's a Black man right there. Period.
Yes.
So my Blackness leads a lot of my conversations, a lot of my discussions. When I'm talking to Black parents, I'm like, you're kicking out your Black son who just so happens to be gay to go out into a world that already marginalizes him. That's already like profiling him.
Yep.
He got the police looking at him this way. He got the white folks looking at him this way. Now he got Black folks looking at him this way because he's gay.
And the church just definitely not even accepting.
HIV is a real effort.
And right, because it means absolutely nothing when you have not felt the love. I love what Pam says here. She says, it's sad because it's causing too many suicides because they are not being accepted. With that again. And Jerron, who's another amazing therapist out here, he says, say it again, you're Black first.
Period.
Yes.
Jerron, if I do nothing else with anybody else sexually, I'm Black.
first, right.
Well, folks want to focus on who you in bed with. They want to focus on who you sleeping with. They want to focus on that. None of that is your business. None of that.
And nobody, even when we do this, when you go to the doctors with things like that, Jerron talks about, I love that, Jerron, he talks about facts. When you go to the doctors, the first thing they're going to ask is, where does it hurt? And why does it hurt? Right. And too often we miss that when we're talking to our kids. And that's one of the first things I talk to them about. I don't even care about their HIV status. And then I'm like, let's deal with you. Where does it hurt? And why do you feel this way? And what causes it? The HIV, listen, let's get you on your meds. That's part of the treatment plan. We're not going to ignore it. We're going to write that into your treatment plan so that we can talk about, are you taking the medication? Are you doing the physical things? But let's deal with your mind. Let's deal with where you are at and where you're at today. So listen, y'all, Dante, we have a podcast. I'm releasing him. I interviewed him for the podcast. So you got to listen to the podcast again tomorrow because we ain't going to give y'all all the tips and secrets tonight. Yes, you got to download. Listen, Dante, talk to us about what is World AIDS Day and why is this so prevalent and a need that we need to discuss today?
It's, like you said, we're not going to share the podcast, but like I said on the podcast,
that part we can share.
I mean, World AIDS Day it is important, and it does matter because it continues to raise awareness about HIV, which is still a epidemic, a pandemic.
Yes.
It is still a pandemic globally. People still need to get tested. They still need to know their results. People still need to be linked into care. It's a lot that goes into it. However, when I think about World AIDS Day, as someone who works in the field, who does this for a living all the time, it's like, for me, World AIDS Day is like Thanksgiving. Because it's like we all gather to give out turkeys, to feed the homeless, to make sure everybody got a meal on Thanksgiving. But the day after Thanksgiving, they got to eat again.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like we're talking about World AIDS Day, December 1st. That's everyone's kumbaya moment to come out and say, oh my God, I'm wearing a ribbon in honor of, and oh my God, I'm going to get tested. And oh my God. Okay. So am I going to see you in January? You know, people are still
Or
having sex in
February.
February. You know,
Yes.
round about June, shouldn't it be like a World AIDS Day prequel? It should be something. But it seems like
Right.
everybody want to get amped and have the conversation about HIV
One
and
day a
AIDS on
year.
December 1st. One day a year. One day a year. But folks are having sex on December 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Condomless sex, don't know the status of their partner's sex. You know,
Right.
all kind of stuff is going on. So it's like we got to begin to normalize these conversations about sexual health, especially in the Black community.
Yes.
Black folks are having sex. Somebody's having sex right now instead of watching this show.
Wow.
And I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But we ain't gonna get everybody to watch the show, Marty. Some folks
this is true. This is true.
Some folks gonna see something come through the door like, yo, I'll watch the replay, but right now I got smashed.
But you were here. I'm here because someone had sex with our parents. You know, our parents had sex, and we are here. We cannot no longer ignore. Folks are having sex. Folks have since the beginning of time. They've been having it. Folks been getting pregnant before marriage, after marriage, during marriage, around marriage. Folks been teenage mamas and daddies. Folks gonna always be teenage mamas and daddies, and we have to have these conversations and have open conversations about sex, sexuality, protection, all of that, and normalize it and have age-appropriate conversations about it. And go ahead.
Something you asked me on the podcast. This one I do want to bring up because everybody might not hear the podcast that you had me on.
Yes, I hear you.
You asked me the question about we talked about transmission and all that.
Yes.
And you said, well, how do you talk about gay sex?
Yes.
You know, and then I broke it down and I asked you a question, Marty. What is gay sex? What exactly is gay sex? When it comes to modes of transmission for HIV, oral, anal, vaginal. Right. I don't care whose mouth, whose anus, whatever. Right. Listen, there's no such thing as gay sex. If you're having anal sex, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, you're having anal sex. You're having oral sex, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, you're having oral sex. There is no such thing as straight sex and gay sex. A hole is a hole is a hole. I don't care who puts what in what. It's all about the orifice.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And until we're able to have conversations like that just
open conversations. Yes.
Sex. Let's normalize sex.
Yes.
And stop putting folks in these boxes based upon what they do. Like I shared when I talk to adults, you know, how is HIV transmitted? You know, give me the kind of sexual acts that can transmit HIV. And I have full grown adults. Oh, I got that one. Missionary, doggy style, reverse cowgirl. Yo, homie.
Right.
Those are positions.
Right.
I don't care what position you are. You could be doing a handstand on the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. Ain't got nothing to do with it. Is it oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex? Period. Just that simple.
Period. Yes. See, Chester says yes. Period. Come on, Chester. Right.
I'm just saying.
So let's even talk about when we're talking about AIDS and HIV. We think that we label it as the gay disease. Is that true or false?
30 years later, people still say that. 30 years later, people still call it the gay disease. They still say what you've been out there doing to put yourself in harm's way. 30 years later, people still don't know how to have the conversations about it. 30 years later, people who are newly diagnosed still are terrified to share their status because they might get shamed or outed. You know, and it's sad that we will use someone's HIV status as a way to demonize them or out them or say, don't talk to that person, don't touch that person. It's sad that we're in that space right now. Right. It's really sad. And what's funny, what I have noticed is how within a lot of communities, you know, the gay community in general, when someone passes away, instantly, oh my God, did they have HIV? You know, they go to that. But now I look at society in the midst of this pandemic. When somebody passes away, oh my God, did they have the vid? Did they have the vid? So it's like people will jump on something and let that be the end all. You know, yes, Thais said the gay plague. People are still walking around thinking it is the gay plague, that only gay people get HIV. No, anybody. That's why HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. The first word is human. You are a human. If you are a human having oral, anal, or vaginal sex with someone who has HIV, guess what? You are now at risk for contracting the virus. Point blank.
So for the one who's in the back row who didn't quite get it, we have to say it yet another way. If you are a human, no matter what race, creed, color, or whatever, and you are having sex, period,
Yeah.
you are at risk if not having the conversation and knowing your other person's status of getting HIV.
And if you want to know how human HIV is, let's go on down to Florida to those senior citizen homes and those retirement
Right.
villages where HIV is running rampant because Pawpaw done got the Viagra and Mama can't have no kids. So
Right.
they like, well, we got one rooster and we got all these hens. Now, Pawpaw, because he taking his Viagra, can go on down to the strip club and get him a young tender because Pawpaw got good credit.
I hope Pawpaw ain't rolling his.
Pawpaw will get him a young tender, and him and the young tender they smashing. Then he go back to the retirement village and he finds Velma, and Velma like, well, come on over, Earl. Earl come over and they doing it. Listen, old people. I don't want to say old people. Elderly folks are still sexually active.
Yes,
they are having sex. Sex does not stop when you get to a certain age. People still have desires. No, they cannot procreate, but they can still find pleasure in intimacy. So we have to educate about HIV from the young child all the way to the oldest senior, because all are at risk if they're going to engage in unprotected, non-conversational sex.
Yeah, and that is so important because we fail to realize. I think I was shocked when I first heard that, how one of the growing areas that HIV is being infected in is in retirement and nursing homes.
Listen, what they got to lose?
Well, I guess not. But
Mama said it still work. Earl, come on up in this room. Come on in this room here, Earl.
But look what Christine Neal says. Talk about how women's stats are high.
Yes.
Talk to us about statistics with especially Black women, as they are definitely climbing, but we're not having the conversations with our Black women about HIV in our community. And why is that number so alarming today?
Yeah, unfortunately, the stats for African American women are raising. They are going up. It's a lot of factors related to it. You know, where did Marty go? Where did he go? You know,
I like giving solo shots.
Right. It always it baffles me how we're not having these conversations. A lot of it has to do with culture.
Yes,
because we don't talk about sex. The only thing we tell our girls when they're growing up: don't come home with no baby.
Right.
Don't come home with no baby. So if she's out there, and believe it or not, they've done research studies and they've shown that anal sex is on the rise amongst high school kids because they use that as a form of birth control.
Right.
So if the girl is being told don't get pregnant, we tell the guys don't get her pregnant. They know anal sex, no baby can come. So let's have unprotected anal sex. All right. Now, if the guy is out there doing his stuff on the side too, and he brings it back to the girl, then she got it. Now, from the girls, her mindset, I'm still a virgin. I'm still a virgin because my hymen's intact. Yeah, but you have given oral sex to the whole campus. You've had anal sex with everybody. Come on, we got to talk about sex. And I'm not sex shaming. I do not sex shame. I'm not doing that. Live your life. Be great, but be safe. Be safe.
And that's the conversation we have to have. Too often, you're right, because I have more of my clients that are sexually active from these teenagers and everything, but that you know, and in confidentiality, you know, but we have to talk about safety, all those other things, and we're not having these type of conversations. Listen, parents, forewarning, if you don't have the conversation with your teenagers, somebody else will, and you may not like the answers that they have. I feel that as a parent, it is my responsibility to have that conversation with my children. And we still have, and my kids are grown now, with exception of Tony. That's a whole other story.
I just read Janet's comment about, you know, she's a mom of 4 kids. And these conversations can be difficult. They can, Janet. They honestly can. Yes. I get that. And one thing I've done, I've offered my expertise to parents. Because sometimes the parents, like, they know what to say, but the kid won't even receive it from their mom, their dad. Like, that ain't the truth. You don't be having sex. And I tell these kids, yo, let me know, what do you know about sex? Let's start there. I don't waste my time, you know, telling you what you already know. What do you know?
Or what you think you know.
Right. And then when you start telling me what you think you know, I will deconstruct all of the myths, all the lies you heard, and I will give you a healthy understanding about sex. Now, my thing is this, Janet, what we don't want to do is have our kids ignorant. You know, the Bible says my people perish for a lack of knowledge, you know?
Yep.
So teaching your kids about sex is not coercing them to go out and do it. It's like, yo, I want you to make an educated decision. I don't want my kid to be the last one to know about what's going on. 9 times out of 10, when the kids have a healthy sexual conversation with their parents, they are more open and they're not going to engage in things that put them at risk. Even when they get approached, they will hear their mom or their dad in their ear and say, well, before I do this with you, Mom, so Bobby stepped to me. This was Bobby's game. And Mom is going to say, yo, Bobby is a liar. All Bobby want is that. And Bobby going to leave you. You know, when you have these healthy conversations, it does make a difference. When the kids can go to their parents versus their friends or their friends' moms, let your kid come to you. You need to be that source. You need to be that rock. Otherwise, they're going to learn off of Pornhub, Xtube, you know, everything else. And they're going to learn how to have sex, but know nothing about intimacy and nothing about love or relationship.
And those are two different things. Sex and intimacy are two different things. And you're absolutely right. Statistics show too much in favor of when the parent or the trusted guardian has that conversation with the child and gives them permission to talk about it openly. The likelihood of them getting pregnant or contracting any type of disease or any type of STD or anything like that goes significantly down.
Right.
Why? Because we've opened up the gateway. We've opened up the conversations. And to be honest with them, you know, I grew up in a very honest family. You know, it was almost dinner conversation. We were at conversation with my cousins and all this. We all just sitting there. My mom talking about, you having sex? I'm like, really? You gonna ask me like right now at the dinner table in front of everyone? So I wasn't then, but I was like, no, but RJ is, and so I just start throwing everybody under the bus. They're like, oh, really? This one? So well, hey, I'm not gonna be the only one being accused of having sex right now when I'm not. Right.
And one thing, Marty, I was talking to some parents one time, and and I had learned this from my good friend. But she had said, talking about sex to her kids, and she put a Bible and a condom on the table. And she said, this is a Bible, this is a condom. They both can save your life. You know.
Right.
Which one do you want to lead your relationships with? You know, and that's for the Christian parents, the saints that are out there like, well, the Bible says and God says and yada, yada, yada. Go back to your pre-saved days as a teenager. Or go back to your growing up in church days as a teenager. I don't care what nobody preached from the pulpit, what nobody got in your ear about sex. When your hormones kicked in, when your natural urges kicked in, everything you knew about the spirit of the living God,
baby, it went out the window.
Right. And you have to
we got examples in the Bible when it happened.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So we have to talk to our kids and let our kids feel safe. You know, the biggest thing is safe. And Carissa just asked a question, what age now to talk to them about sex? And that's a question that I think is case by case.
It really
always
is.
Tell parents that's case by case because you know your kid. You know your kid. If your little man is walking around feeling on all the girls at 7 and 8 and rubbing on breasts and got an affinity to the grown women, talk to man about boundaries. Let man know, yo, you cannot be touching on the girls like that. And conversations about sex is not always about intimacy. It's not always about penetration.
No.
Sexual conversations can be about anatomy.
Yes. So listen, I'm going to hit a couple people because they've had some great conversation here, Dante. So Joseph talks us that this is a deep conversation. You can't have this conversation with your child if you don't have a relationship that doesn't allow them to be open with you. Joseph, you're absolutely right. And that's why we're putting this back on the parents. Parents, listen, you have to have this relationship with your child. You have to give them permission. You know what I love that my mother did with me Just listen. I know them little hormones is growing, and your little stuff is getting hard, and all this other stuff, and you starting to feel some things. But she says, because I was a teenager too, so this is what happened to me. And she reminded me that she was pregnant with me when she was 18, fresh out of high school, and what that was like, and so it helped me then have a better relationship with my own identity of what sex and sexuality was with that during that time as well. But we
Right.
had this open conversation. Now, I think it goes to the problem that most of us have in our black community. My father was not there to have that conversation with me, but I had older cousins, male cousins, and everything that, and a cousin who stepped in as the role as a father, who then I could have these conversations with as well. And that's what we have to do, but have that with that as well.
And this is where the village comes into play.
Yes.
And it's also important that parents take time to know who is pouring into their child.
Yes.
Because everybody doesn't have the best intentions.
They don't.
We got to call a thing a thing. When we talk about the black family and all that, we're full of secrets. We have a lot of secrets. We got a lot of people who are appropriate. We got a lot of folks that is like, yo, they should not have that kind of access to your kid. And I always tell parents too, if your child is telling you I'm uncomfortable, listen. You telling your kids, go give somebody such a kiss. I don't want to give them a kiss on their cheek. Don't force your child to kiss that person. Don't force your child to sit in somebody's lap. Your child can sense when something is wrong. And a lot of times we force our kids into these situations and these environments, and then we give them the stank eye when they're teenagers, and now they're promiscuous.
Yes.
Or they're real uncomfortable around people. We gotta look at what we're doing in our own homes as well. So I always make sure to tell parents, yo, listen to your kids when your kids are telling you, I don't feel safe around this person. I don't want to spend the night at their house. I don't want to kiss this person. I don't want to hug this person.
Yes.
And it's not your child being disrespectful. You're protecting your child.
But you'd be surprised. The generation, I'll say it this way, because we understand that that happens with the molestation and rape that happens within families, because we knew that Uncle Ray Ray was a little off, and he was off when I was a child, but yet we still force our own children to be around. That's crazy to me. Right. And that's my best psychiatric diagnosis on that. That's cray-cray. Why would we repeat these patterns, and why aren't we listening to our children? We have to. And so that forces them, we're setting them up for failure. Yes, I said it. We are setting them up for failure, abuse, and trauma when we don't listen to them and help them process what they are saying and support them in that action.
And I learned that also because I come from a family of a lot of my family members were, involved in gangs or whatever the case may be. And I didn't go that route. I don't know if it's because I was the soft one in the bunch or whatever the case may be. But I mean, I did my dirt, but I never hit the block like my cousins. I didn't do that. That wasn't my thing. So when I got older, my uncles were, when I was like little and then going through my teenage years, I was called a sissy, fag, punk, all that by my uncles. And when I hit like in my early 30s, me and my uncle had a good conversation because, at this time I was out of the closet, and I was doing all kind of stuff. And what I told him was, I said, what you did, you made my life much more harder. I said, because my uncles who should have been my covering and my protectors, if you saw that your little nephew might be gay, and you know how the world treats gays, coupled with treat black men, you guys didn't protect me. What you did by talking about me, you made me try to find affection in other ways. So then I would go out. So when I was in my relationships, as long as they was telling me they loved me, I didn't care if they was cussing me out, hitting me, whatever the case may be. Just say you love me and give me, you love me, right? But you love me, because my uncles did not make me feel safe. So when my uncles found out that I was in all these toxic relationships, one of them just started crying and was like, oh my God, I can't believe that you went through that. Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? I was like, call you and say what? I was the faggot. I was the punk. I was this dude. What am I gonna call you and say? Help me, come help your faggot nephew because he's getting hit by his boyfriend. I didn't feel safe doing that. So I tell a lot of parents, a lot of men, especially black men, who are the leaders of these households, who are the strength, the backbone. If you see the young man is softer than what you think he should be as a man, because we still have not fully fleshed out what a man is.
What being a man is. Yes.
If he's not living according to your idea of what a man is, protect him.
Yes.
Protect him.
But can we also talk about not just protect them physically, let's protect them by having the conversation and protect them with our words and stop using words such as faggot and all these other that degrading words. And let's have the conversation. Nephew, son, daughter, talk to me.
And be like, I see you're a little different, know, because adults, you are older, so you should be the one in the room leading the conversation. Hey, Tyrone, I see you're different. Even though you play football, even though you play basketball, I'm noticing something different about you when you interact with girls versus how you interact with your homeboys.
Right.
You want to talk about this? I'm here for you. I may not understand it.
And I may be uncomfortable.
Right.
However, I'm here for you. Yes.
These kids need to feel safe with the people that they're looking up to as protectors. Because once your protector no longer has your back, or you feel like they don't care about you, you're going to go out and find protection from anyone who will give you the facade of safety.
Yes.
So a lot of this stuff, when it comes to HIV, sexual health, sexuality, a lot of this stuff starts at home. And we got to get better in how we educate about sex. We got to.
Now, Jamie, what's happening, darling? Yeah, we love Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, that's my sis.
Yes, Jamie tells us that as a single woman with no male support, how do we teach our young boys and / young men to become emotionally stable men? I agree with you, Jamie. I know what we have to do is start building a community, a trusted community that we can build within the relationship. That's what I always share with my young boys. And we will just start fleshing it out. Let's talk about, who are the men in your family? We'll start right there. Do you trust them? What do you trust about them? What do you like about them? What don't you trust about them? Now let's go into the community. Are there any, if you're part of a church, if you're part of an organization, can you identify one or two men that you might trust or look up to, even if you have not spoken to them or whatever? Right. So now we're beginning the process of elimination. So we're hearing from the a young man himself who he trusts in that. And parents, listen to them. Ask them why. Well, why do you trust them?
Right.
Okay. Why don't you trust, more important question, this one that I suggested? And because they may not suggest the ideal person that you think, does not mean it's the wrong person as well. And then let's have these conversations. Let's meet. Let's talk to them. Those type of things. Donta, any suggestions for you as you're talking to some of these young men?
I think that's great advice. And Jamie, yes, it's very Marty, stop leaving me on the screen by myself. I'm
not controlling this now. My producer is in here.
I think that's great advice that you gave. And I also, because Jamie, I know, she's raised a phenomenal son.
Yes.
But there are a lot of single mothers out there trying to navigate this. But the problem is what I have seen sometimes is that mothers will hand their sons off to broken men to help them raise them.
Say that one more time.
Mothers will hand their sons off to broken men just because this is a man. I need your help raising my son. Well, this brother needs help too.
Yes.
This man also needs therapy. This man also needs to cry. This man also needs to release. And now you've given this man your son just because they both have penises.
Right.
So you can teach him better than I can. And the brother's looking like, well, shit, I really can't. But I can teach him what I think a man is supposed to be. So your son may have tapped into his emotions, and he's like, I need to cry right here because I'm just hurting. And you better not cry because men don't cry.
Men don't cry.
Right? right?
Right.
We don't
And even
cry.
in that, we base, and a lot of women will base it upon the stereotypical definition of a
Yes,
black man. He got to be,
yes.
I was not the stereotype black man
Hmm.
in that. Yes, I'm a black man that does not play basketball, and I'm proud of it.
Right, right. It's like
But I can
I
run
don't
some track
care.
all around you.
I watch the Super Bowl for halftime. That's all I care about.
Oh,
I don't care about the game. Let me see J Lo.
oh my God. I'm better
And I
than that.
think that we have to deconstruct this idea of what a man is. We got to deconstruct
That's
that
it.
because
That's it.
I know parents that will rather have their sons go with the drug dealer and all that
Right.
than sit under me because I'm gay. Well, Dante,
You're right.
you gay. You can't teach him how to be a man. I'm gay and I must have a doctorate. I'm like, but you want Jaheim to
Wait,
raise
wait,
him.
wait.
Jaheim
But
has nothing going on, but
but
that's
you
who
have
you
a
trust.
job. You own a
Job,
house.
car,
You have
home,
yeah.
stable
You written
relationship.
yeah. Okay, never mind. Let's go to Jamie's second
Yeah,
question.
but so you're telling me that I can't help your kid fill out these college applications. Does he know how to fill out college
Really?
application? It's like, and it's not belittling anybody. I'm
By
not
no
saying I'm
means.
better than someone else, but we have to level this playing field and stop equating this idea of masculinity with that dude must be the man. Because it's a lot of masculine dudes that's more gay than me.
Oh, okay,
That's
that's
another
another
show
that's
for
another
another
show.
day.
That's another show. Jamie's second question was this: in a society with so much
I'm
sexual
just saying.
assault, that's with so much sexual assault, and men coming out later
Get out, Marty.
that
Get
they
out. Get out.
are abused. Who do we trust, and how can we tell that our sons are being abused? Jamie, you're a therapist, so you know this all. Not saying know this already, but one of the things that I look for is changing behaviors within our children. If one day you have happy Johnny, and the next day after meeting these men or something, you have a very confused or angry or that, we need to pay attention to behaviors that change drastically. And I say it this way: men, I don't care if they're gay, straight, bi, whatever, we don't know how to express ourselves emotionally a lot of times, especially when you're a teenage boy. Hell,
Right.
teenage girls don't know how to express their emotions. We've been taught to man up, to suppress it. So you're doing all of that type of thing. And for me, when I see an angry young man, I see a depressed young man. And he masks his anger up with depression. And the slightest crack, just like a soda can that you shaking up, he explodes all over himself
Right.
and everyone else. And then we go, see, I told you, instead of saying, what's bothering you? How can I support you?
How
in
can I
that?
help? How
Yeah.
can I help?
How can I
and
help?
I think that I think I'm trying to see. It was shared on the thread. I think I lost it. I don't know where it's at. But this is something that I challenge you, Martin. I've challenged you for this for like
Right.
3-4 years. We got to create a safe space for
Yes.
brothers to be brothers.
Yes.
And people
Yes.
always say, "Oh, we got that. We got the barbershop."
Nope.
Barbershop conversations are cute. Barbershop conversations are cool. Barbershop conversations are for that moment. But until brothers are ready to sit in the room together and be transparent about what they're really going through, regardless of
Yes.
sexual orientation, we're all sitting in the same space as just black men,
Yes.
talking about, what happened yesterday, what happened to old boy, that's crushed my spirit. A lot of black men do not have the opportunity to truly vent in a space with other black men because they fear being judged.
Yes.
It's a lot of hardened dudes out there that need that one good cry and that one good hug. I was one of them. They need that one good cry, that one good hug, and just somebody to say, "Brother, I'm here with you. I'm in it with you. I feel it. I'm going through the same thing."
I'm
But
glad
how
you
do
asked
how do
that.
how do black men, Marty? How do they raise kids, be a husband, go to work, go to school, do all this stuff, and don't have nowhere to vent? Nowhere
You're
to vent.
absolutely right. In my group, Black Male Therapists, with that, are you a part of that one yet?
I think so. I'm
No,
in some.
you're in Black Therapist Rock.
I'm in
Oh,
high.
I know.
I'm in high.
So my boy, Paul Boucher Williams, amazing therapist. out in the DMV. He is hosting a virtual safe space for men. In that, he's doing a whole day conference retreat on it. He's doing a special. This one does cost because he's limiting the space, and it's about helping Black men grieve during this time, deal with the anger, deal with all the microaggressions and everything that's coming at us, hand after fist, and all of that. So listen, check out his page, Paul Bechet Williams. He's an amazing Black male therapist out in the DMV. He has an amazing book, y'all. Women, please pick up his book. Men, pick up his book. It's called Dear Future Wife. And that Negro picked up a wife because of that book. Listen, I say that because I love and respect my brother with that and all that he's doing. So yes.
And you know what else, Marty? What I would love to see? I would love to see a room full of Black straight men who are not feeling some kind of way when a Black gay man is pouring into them.
That's good.
You know, I've been invited to a lot of these conferences where men are coming and men and yada yada yada. I've been to them, and then when I get up to speak, and I talk about you know, sexual health and sexuality, and then disclose my status and say I'm gay, you can feel the shift in the room. Like, what this dude gonna tell about being a man? He ain't no real man. And this is what brothers do to other brothers. You know, and it always baffles me because I'm like, my brother. You don't know my story. You don't know what I went through. You don't know what I've had to overcome. You know, only thing we do different is sleep with different genders. But I've had bills. You know, I've had traumas. You know, I've had the cops pull me over. I've had things happen to me. So it's like, until we're able to receive, you know, from anybody that God is putting in front of us to speak and pour into our spirit, we're not going to get ahead as Black men.
You're absolutely right. Because like you said earlier, they look at our Blackness first.
Right.
Before you get into anything else. So because this is World AIDS Day and everything, I want to touch real quickly, if we can.
You want to go back to that? Okay.
I do want to go back to that.
Real quick, hold on.
Go ahead. Before you go back to that.
And I'm not going to say the name, but there was this celebrity that used to hold this large mentoring camp. It was a huge mentoring camp, and this big name celebrity was like, we got to help our young Black boys and get them into the camp. I'm having all these speakers come. We need speakers. So I wrote the celebrity and I filled out the whole thing with all my credentials. And I'm like, because if you're going to have 500, you know, young Black boys at this retreat,
we have to talk about
not going to be straight.
Right.
You know, so what about the young gay boy that's here because his parents or his mom said, go to this retreat to learn how to be a man. He's at this retreat. He knows he's gay. He feels out of his league. No one can understand him. He can't talk to anybody because all the older Black men are not going to say they're gay because they don't lose their credentials. I was told that, that topic is not needed for this kind of event. This is for young Black boys.
Wow.
So 500 young Black boys, not one is going to be gay or bisexual or questioning. None of them will need this information.
Somebody is putting names in the conversation with that.
Yo, that's my family. My family be knowing. They know my spirit. She read my spirit.
They tell it all. I love how people.
It makes no sense to me. We need to
absolutely right.
Conversations. These young boys, and I learned this. I did this workshop once about 5 years ago where I had gay dudes and straight dudes in the same room. These dudes were between 19 and 25, 1925, Black and brown. They were in the room. Nobody knew nobody's sexual orientation.
Right.
And we started talking about sex. And I did this whole stigmatization thing and breaking down stereotypes and all that. And when they found out who was gay and who was straight, they was like, it didn't even matter at this point because they saw how many commonalities they had as just young men of color.
But you show people that you care and that you can help take care of them in a healthy mental way. At that point, if I'm hurting, I need my pain to be released. If I need information, I need to be filled with that so I can live a successful life. I don't care if you Black, white, Mexican, straight, gay, whatever, with that. Listen, you're helping me move to the next level on a professional way. And every gay man is not trying to sleep with every person in the room. So that's a
Gay
whole nother
men have a
topic.
type. Gay men have a
That
type. Brothers, if women think you're ugly, trust, gay dudes think you're ugly too.
crickets.
I
Okay.
said it all the time. I'm like, dude, she think you ugly. If she think you ugly, I think you
I
ugly
can't
too.
with you. I can't
Bruh.
with you.
I mean,
I
gay
can't.
dudes got a type.
Okay, moving back to the topic we were talking about.
I'm just saying.
Being World AIDS Day. That's why I love you, my brother. You just keep it.
I'm just saying, you know, them dudes looking at me. No, they not. They not looking at you. Women ain't looking at you. Men ain't looking at you. You need to look at you and then ask yourself, would you date you?
I can't with you. I can't with you.
I'm just saying. It irritates me. It vexes my spirit. It irritates me. All these gay dudes keep looking at me.
Stop it.
Bruh,
We're moving on.
Trust me.
You are so stupid. I love you, man. Listen, now let's talk about medication and what is PrEP and PEP and that everyone doesn't know about. First, let's talk about the status, what HIV means, what AIDS mean, and then what being undetectable. And there's more stuff, y'all, on the podcast that you got to go listen to. Dante shares his story. I'm not going to go into his story today because you need to listen to the podcast. But anyway, check it out. Check it out. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Now, but a brother used to cry. So HIV, simple. HIV is the human immunodeficiency virus.
Yes.
Period. That means anyone who is human can contract HIV. It is transmitted through 5 body fluids: blood, semen, pre-cum, breast milk, and vaginal secretions. All right, 5 body fluids. If you come in contact with any one of those 5 body fluids, then you can be at risk for contraction. But the fluid has to be infected. All right.
Yes.
So if you have oral sex, anal sex, or vaginal sex unprotected with someone who is HIV positive, and you are exposed to their body fluids, blood, semen, pre-cum, breast milk, vaginal secretions, you are now at risk for contraction. Okay.
You have this down to a science. Yes, but it is that simple. It can be.
Point blank. Period. Point blank. Now, condoms. Yes, condoms do protect. Condoms protect. Use a condom. But make sure that if you're using a condom, that it fits. Get the condom that is made for you. If you are not a Magnum, do not put on a Magnum. Ha! Don't do that. Don't do that, because what will happen is, in your excitement and in all your glee, when it's all over, you're going to look down and say, hey, where's the condom?
Where's that?
I can't find the condom. And she's going to be like, or he's going to be like, what do you mean? You lost the condom? Well, I didn't lose it. I just can't find it. Because the condom slipped off. Because you're not a Magnum. So, fellas, I know you want to get that gold foil. I know you want to feel like Big Willie. But it's okay not to be Big Willie all the time. It's all right. All right?
All right.
So, PrEP. PrEP is a biomedical HIV prevention. So if you're watching this show, how many of you have ever seen the commercial for Truvada? It comes on at like 2 a.m. on BET or MTV. It's Truvada for PrEP, Truvada for PrEP, Truvada for PrEP, Truvada, Truvada, Truvada. Okay?
They're playing at about 9, 10 o'clock now.
Right, it comes on late. It never comes on at 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon. It comes on after our Truvada for PrEP. Okay, so Truvada is a medication. It is a medication, all right, that is used to decrease the chances of persons who are not HIV positive contracting HIV. All right. So I'm a person who's living with HIV. I used to take Truvada as part of my regimen. So Truvada is nothing but a medication that people with HIV take. Truvada and Descovy or Biktarvy, I can't remember. I think it's Descovy. All right. So those two are for PrEP. Now, what it is, if you are HIV negative and you take Truvada, I think the other one is Descovy, you take Truvada or Descovy, all right, one of those pills, either or, once a day. All right, once a day. All right, that's it. It is basically like birth control for HIV prevention. Thanks, Brad.
That's a great analogy.
Truvada and Descovy. All right.
Come on, Joseph.
So those
Thank
pills
you, Joseph.
are used for PrEP. And I know it gets confusing because people will see the Truvada commercial. They'll see Truvada on the side of buses, and then they'll see something that says PrEP, and they're like, "Well, what's PrEP?"
What is?
So you got to understand what happened was when Truvada first came out, it was the only pill on the market that was used as a biomedical HIV prevention tool. So of course it became the moniker for PrEP. But now that we have other drugs coming out, other drugs qualify as PrEP as well. They're also working on an injectable PrEP, meaning you can get the injection just like the Depo-Provera
Wow.
shot. You can get the
Wow.
injection, and you come back like every 3 months to get another injection, so you ain't got to take it every single day. So
That's for
PrEP
the
is,
forgetful folk.
yeah, are people that don't like taking pills. So
Right.
PrEP is it's really good for people who are in serodiscordant relationships. A serodiscordant relationship means one partner is positive, one partner is negative. The person that is positive, they may have a T cell count that's elevated, or they may be undetectable. Either
Right.
way, the person that is negative, if they're on PrEP, is going to decrease their chance of contracting HIV by almost 98%. All right, there is a
That's
slim
amazing.
chance you will contract HIV if you are on PrEP. Now, if you are on PrEP, it's all about adherence. You want to take it every single day. Do not miss a
Yes.
day. Take it every single day. Just wake up, pop your PrEP, pop your vitamins, eat your oatmeal, go
And
about
keep
your
it pushing.
business. All right, keep pushing. Now, for those that may not want to take PrEP but still are dating someone that's HIV positive, there's a thing called U equals U. Undetectable equals untransmittable. All right, say it with me,
Yes.
everybody. Undetectable equals
Undetectable equals
untransmittable.
untransmittable.
That means a
Yes.
person who has HIV, such as myself, I am undetectable. That means that I take my medication every day, I adhere to my medication, and all that kind of stuff. Everyone is not undetectable, even though they're taking their medications, because everybody's body is different. So,
Right.
me being undetectable, if I go out there and I have sex with someone without protection, I cannot transmit the virus.
Right.
That's what that
Right.
means. All right. That's
That's
all that means.
amazing.
Okay.
And
So if you're in a relationship with someone and they're undetectable, all right, and you're like, what's your T cell count? What's your viral load? They're like, I'm undetectable. I'm on medication. You're like, oh, okay, cool. By the way, if you're still in your head about it, you can't wear the
right.
condom, but if the condom
Right.
break, you won't have a stroke. You won't pass. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. You
Yes.
think I'm lying? You can Google you. I think my frat brother just put up there you
He did.
equals you. All right. And it will take you to the site. The site CDC talks about it. It was launched in October. It
Yes.
has people who are under not transmit the virus. All right. Now, this is good to know because shaming or they go into panic mode after having sex with someone and find out the person has HIV and just lose their mind. But if you are
Yes.
HIV negative, it's all about you being educated. All right.
That's
You get
it.
educated because me personally, I am so irritated when I hear people say, told me, not me, but you should have said something. You should have said something. Did you ask? Not
Right.
saying that not disclosing is wrong, but if you have someone who is single, remember about 45 minutes ago, I said, I do not sex shame. So if you are sexually active and you like to go out there and have sex, all right, and you are HIV negative, but you are not having conversations, that is not the other person's sole responsibility to tell you. You need to have the conversation. If you are HIV positive, it is difficult to disclose to everybody. You're not going to want to disclose to every single partner that you have because social media did not make that safe. It's not making it. People tell their HIV status, and next thing you know, their status is all on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter. They're
Right.
making vines
Right.
about it. Oh my God, this person got this. They got the house in Vegas. They got the
Right.
sauce. Don't mess with this one.
Wait,
We're
wait, wait,
still
wait, wait,
shaming
wait.
folks.
The sauce, all of that shaming, because you hear that all the time. Yeah.
All
Why
the
are you
time.
laughing at me?
House in
Why are
Vegas,
you laughing at me?
HIV.
House in.
Just pause shaming,
Okay.
and it's unfortunate. So that's what I'm saying this to level the playing field of
Right.
conversation. We have to level the playing field. We got to stop doing this blame game. We got to stop doing the blame game. All
And
right, we
that's
cannot
what I
keep
why I
doing that.
wanted you to be on.
Adults,
Yes, because we still don't know, and that is what is killing our community. That is why it
right?
still has not leveled out in our black community. That's why we're still depressed. That's why we're not having it, and we have to make people aware. And I'm so glad that you are making us aware of this and telling the truth. Dante, all these wows. Well, I didn't know that. Wow, so and so needs to hear this. You are breaking
Yeah.
the stereotypes,
And
and
to
I go ahead.
and to my black queens, I
Yes.
need my sisters. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all are beautiful, beautiful. I
Yes.
need you to be sexually empowered.
Yes.
Do not give your sex away. Don't love legs open very easy. Don't do that. Own
Right.
you. Own you. Own your
Yes.
body. Be if the dude don't have and you don't feel comfortable with it, this Negro, you pull one out your purse. If you pull out a Magnum and you look down, he's not a Magnum, you take the Magnum back and you give him the right size and
Why
say,
are
I'm
you on this
sorry, that one
Magnum
wasn't for
tonight?
you. My bad. You know, I just believe if we're gonna be adult enough to have sex,
That's
we need
right.
to be
That's
adult
right.
enough in the bedroom. Black women, we are now in a new age. Okay, a new age. I need you to be the queens that you are, and you look that dude in the face and be like, "Yo, tell me the truth. I will
Yes.
not judge. Are you
Right.
bisexual? Do you have an ex-boyfriend? I'm not
Yes.
judging, but let me have
Let's
the
have this
choice.
conversation.
Let me have the
Yes.
choice to lay down with you. Let me have the
Yes.
choice if I want to go forward with this. Ladies, do not be scared to have the conversation. And if it goes left after you ask these questions, that is a red flag. That is a
Right.
trigger to something
Right.
else that's going on, and you don't be with him anyway. You don't be with
Right.
him
And
anyway. Because if he's getting mad at you because you trying to be sexually safe and in control of your body, and he's getting mad and getting left, is this really the dude you want in your life? Period.
And we have to have the
It's not.
conversation about sex and intimacy and know what you want. If you're just talking about sex, then have that conversation. Listen, we just having sex, and this is the way we're going to have sex
This
safely.
is it. That's
This
it.
is it. These
That's
are my
it.
boundaries. These are my rules. If any of those things change, boo, you gone. Now, if we're
Right.
talking about relationship and all of that and intimacy, we need to have these definitely more in-depth conversations so that we all know. Let's talk about this too. Who should get tested for HIV?
Everybody.
Who,
If you are having, everybody
who should
should
get
get tested
tested?
for HIV.
Everybody?
Everybody should get
Lottie
tested for
Dottie and everybody?
HIV. Mark, because I'm also I don't test anymore because of my position. I don't really test like that. But when I was
Right.
a tester, it would hurt me because I would get young women, and of course in the counseling, okay, sexual partners if you had. I only have one partner. Oh, okay, that's cool. So why are you getting tested? I just want to know my results. Okay, where's he at? Where's your partner?
Where's the partner?
Oh, he at home. He didn't want to come. Okay, so why didn't he want to come? Well, he said he ain't got nothing, and I believe him. So why are you here? So it's like it's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to get in a bit, but I'm like, you're here getting a test because you want to know your status. He don't want to come and get tested because he said, "Oh, I ain't got
Right.
nothing." But something inside of you is saying, "I don't believe that. Let me make sure." So it's having those uncomfortable conversations with your
We
mate.
have to.
It's like we gotta
Yes.
have this conversation. It's like if you want an open relationship, say
And that is
that.
becoming
You
more
want to have an open
common.
relationship. Let me know the boundaries. It's
I
become
have more
common.
couples now because of
Let
that.
me know what the boundaries are.
Yes.
Right,
Yes. But
right.
you're absolutely
So
right.
I think if
Yeah.
people are active, you should not be ashamed. Don't be scared to get tested. If you're sexually active, do not be ashamed of getting. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's
It's
nothing to be
not.
embarrassed about. And get tested
And
together.
I love what you
Get
said
tested together.
earlier about you taking your pills and take it as you're taking it with like anything else. Okay,
Right.
HIV is not a death sentence like it
At
was
all.
in the 80s when it first came
I
out.
was
It is not
diagnosed
a
in
death.
1999.
Wow.
So I'm 21
Wow.
years in.
What?
And
Okay,
I look
get the
great.
rest. Come on, yes you do. Get the rest on the
Right.
podcast. Mental Health Matters with Marty on any
All
podcast.
that. Yeah, check the podcast.
Check the
The whole
podcast out.
story. Ooh, it's a whole
Yes,
story.
there is
You're
a
gonna
whole
love it.
story.
You're
and
gonna
just
love
like you said, you are triggering me. We need to have this conversation quarterly,
it. Yeah.
and not just once a year.
Not on
To
not on the first.
keep not on the first, but to keep educating our people about that and what even HIV looks like and those type of things, and so that we're not fearful of it. We fear those things we don't understand. Again, we don't want you to suffer in silence, but speak up, speak out, and live. That's
Right.
what it's all about.
Real
Live
talk.
your best life, baby. Live your
Yeah.
best life.
Because it's like thank you for saying that, Marty. Because literally tomorrow I have three. I have one. At 2 o'clock that I'm doing with Shirley Ralph, from 2 to 4. At 6, I'm doing a talk with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and it's like I get called every November, my phone starts to blow up. And I'm like, God dang it, I was free in April. I was free in June. So I would love to have these conversations to normalize it. Because people need to know, and I can't share everything in an hour because it's too much to talk about. People got to chew. They got to digest this. It's too much to talk about.
And that's why I said we got to do this every quarter. You remind me, do everything. We got Daryl back there who's going to remind me as well, because we need to take some time, process this, have part 2, process that, have part 3, and let's make this just big and all of that. And we maybe need to even host a virtual conference with that. Don't nobody else steal this. Don't steal our idea. Yes, we're going to do a virtual conference that you're going to have to cost. Is going to pay, because I got to pay Dante. He's a future doctor, and he got student loans.
When that doctor hits, you won't see me no more. I'm just kidding. That's when that rate goes up.
Right. Listen, have your rate now. Listen, I tell them for therapy, Dante, listen, you got your weed money, you got your alcohol money, you got your shake at the club, at the shake spot, because you ain't going there for the hot wings. So make it rain in my therapy office. Thank you, Jesus. We'll talk about you then. So don't sell yourself. Definitely. Dante, you've given us a ton of information here, man. So listen, I know you got a show coming up. I want you to be able to at least get a bite to eat. Y'all, let's show some love to Dante. Appreciate on this brother right here today and all that. How can we, you done beat me to the punchline. How can we get a hold of you?
Sugar Free said it best. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You ain't got to get ready.
Told you, I ain't that gay.
So
real talk, Marty. People can find me at my website, DontaMorrison.com, DONTA Morrison.com. Go to YouTube, youtube.com/Donta Morrison. So that's where the Dante show is aired. Also on Facebook, just type in Donta Morrison. I come up. I literally answer almost all inbox messages that are appropriate. I write back. I love communicating. You can follow me on Instagram, Donta_Morrison.
Yes.
I really love connecting with people, especially my people. Because I'm noticing within communities of color, these conversations are not being had often enough.
Right.
And they're only being had within targeted demographics.
Yes.
And when we're talking about sex, because we don't know who does what, we need to have a huge conversation. Yes. I don't want to always talk to black gay men. I don't always want to talk to black women. I want to talk to everybody at the table. Yes. Everybody bring a plate, bring a dish. Let's have a potluck conversation and just talk about sex and sexuality. So visit me at DontaMorrison.com. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. My show is tonight at 8 o'clock. So in 50 minutes, I will be live on my page talking about some of these issues. Yes. But tomorrow, I'm having a World AIDS Day conversation tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on my page. It's going to be really in-depth. It's going to be talking about basically why are folks not, in care.
Yes. That's good.
This conversation.
That's good. We haven't talked about access of care.
HIV negative. Yeah. For HIV negative, but tomorrow night I'm talking about folks that are HIV positive, that are just not in care because they don't want to be seen going to the clinic. They don't want their status to get leaked. So it's a lot of folks walking around that's not on medication, not seeing a doctor, and they're trying just to survive, without no one ever knowing their status. I'm going to break that down tomorrow and really talk about that and what we need to do as a community to be more inclusive and more embracive of people living with HIV. So Jerron, talk to everybody. And we all can't just be black when the police got their knee in our neck.
Right. Come on.
If we're going to be a village, we got to be a village and talk about everything. Everything. Yes. We can't pick and choose when we're going to come together as a black community and rally and rah-rah. No, folks are contracting HIV. Gay, straight, men, women, old, young. It does not matter. And it's coming from sex. So we got to have a town hall table where we're all there and put your isms and fears beside, leave them outside.
Lay them aside.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Dante, You're amazing, my brother. You know I got nothing but love for you, and keep doing the amazing work that you are doing. People may know your story, but they did not know what you had to get to and what you went through to get where you are. Because, baby, the way they look at you, you would never know. That don't crack, still don't crack, huh?
Right.
Well, some folks it does.
Almost 50.
Come on, come on and join the 50 club. Come on and join the 50 club. I love being 50. Baby, I can say whatever I want and not even care.
Listen.
Chester, thank you for joining us.
I will see y'all in 45 minutes. The Village, 45 minutes, we're gonna start up again. So Chester, Pam, if all y'all still awake, we're gonna make this happen at 8 o'clock.
Listen, all of my listeners, please join Dante on his show. You won't be disappointed. Love you, definitely. You and Dana, as you going back to another co-host with that. And you and Dana, y'all be doing your thing. Man, I appreciate you so much. So I know you got to run and everything. But as always, y'all, thank you so much. I cannot thank our special guest, future Dr. Donta Morrison, for joining us. Yes. You just got to pay the bill. That's all right. For making us aware about HIV in the Black community. We cannot suffer in silence in the shadow of shame any longer. We got to speak up. We got to speak out. We got to live. As always, check out my webpage at mentalhealthmarty.com. And please, tomorrow is going to drop on the podcast, Mental Health Matters with Marty podcast, the amazing interview with Donta Morrison talking about World's AIDS Day. So again, Mental Health Matters with Marty on the podcast. Please join us on your favorite podcast streaming instrument and tool that you use. For those of you who are Apple listeners, there we go. Please like and subscribe to us. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review, and become an I Matter member by texting I Matter to 31996. Again, I Matter to 31996 to get all the exclusives that's happening with Mental Health Matters with Marty. We appreciate you so much. So glad to have my producer Joan on with us here and take me off of that and the pain and everything like that, because I could not do this show without him. Shout out Daryl, the Mac in the back, as he likes to be referred to. But anyway, listen, stay safe, be sane, keep it pushing, and definitely, as always, speak up, speak out, and live as you enjoy your best life. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.